So I think it depends on the stage in life, and I think all the other brothers was pretty spot on with what they were saying. I mean, sometimes you be busy and you just don't have the time that you want to give to somebody, right? It depends on what stage you at in your life. While you grinding, it's gonna be real difficult. They just gonna have to understand it and be there for the ride if they want to be there with you. If not, maybe that's not the right fitment. But I think the statement a whole much truer if it added like a caveat, like if his expectations he sets for himself with you line up with his actions, then they would solidify his intentions. Because if you try and put a broad stroke over all men on what one man does, all men should do if they like you, that's not gonna work. But if that man tells you, hey, this is my intent, and then his words line up with his actions, that should solidify how you feel about you.
All right. Go ahead, Luis.
I'm a little bit split on this one because I do agree that his actions will solidify his intentions, but a part of me also understands that life priorities, schedule, things always don't always align when you want them to. I mean, I sit back. I was actually looking at my calendar while some of you guys are talking. I was like, shit, I got like a busy day tomorrow. I know what's on my schedule and what I can fit in and what I can't. Some days is good, some days is not. You know what I'm saying? So I think, how I would probably justify it is probably, you know, I would probably tell her like, look, this is my schedule for tomorrow. This is my schedule for Thursday. We could do something this day. We could do something that day, right? Unless something urgent or pressing, I could probably move some things around and try to make it work. But you know, you get in where you fit in type of deal. But I think that that's important, at least to kind of think about how you're going to strategize and, usher somebody into your life. Because I think what happens too often is that some people will compromise and drop things, right, in order to appease their person. And that just never goes well because you've already set a behavior that is expected to keep on moving forward. So it's like if you don't do it the fifth time now, it's like, well, you did drop something before, but now you can't do it now. And they'll bring that up. So I think it's important to kind of just remember, kind of set, you know, boundaries and kind of show your intention by actually trying to make and carve out time whenever you can. But, don't fall off of, what I'm saying, what your responsibilities are because those come first.
All right. Go ahead, brother Hink. His actions will always solidify his intentions.
I mean, I agree with this statement. I mean, I don't understand why some of the guys saying the actions don't. Look, if I'm going to talk it, I got to back it up with words. That don't mean shit to me. It doesn't mean shit to me. If I'm going to sit there and tell you I'm doing, and I never back it up, how much do you think a person's going to trust and believe in you? I tell my son that if I tell you keep on him, whoop your ass. You keep on him, whoop your ass, and I'll never follow up and do it. He gonna look at me like a goddamn joke. If I had strike up a deal with Shannon and tell him, yeah, man, I'm gonna do this, man, I'm gonna do this, and I never follow through with this man, he's not gonna take me serious. I wouldn't take you serious. I wouldn't take myself serious. So yeah, your actions got to definitely follow what you got to say and do. Now the thing about going to a woman just showing up at a woman's house, it depends on how long we've been in a relationship. If I've been in a relationship for a year or two, yeah, I'm just gonna do a drive by. I have no problem with that. I want to see how you live. I don't want you to every time I come over, I want to say you clean up, straighten up. I want to know if you living sloppy and nasty when I'm not, or when you're not. I'm not to be expected. So I know what I'm about to get into. And if you living like that, you won't be living with me. You won't be married to me because I don't want a woman who's nasty, sloppy, keep a house all trashed up. And the only time she cleans up is when company's around. No, I need you to keep it on a regular basis. That's some goddamn bullshit. And live up to what you say. I teach men all the time, young men all the time. Be a man of your word. Don't just talk about it, be about it.
Cloud. Go ahead, Cloud.
And so I just wanted to add to that, because I think like what the guy in the video was saying. is very different from the statement. So I want to say that I agree with the statement. I just don't necessarily agree with how the guy in the video described that statement. But I definitely would say that actions solidify your intentions, but particularly when they're in alignment with what you say. So, you know, if a woman wants to know if a guy genuinely cares, then he's gonna do the things he tells you he's gonna do. If he tells you I'm not gonna do this, he's not gonna do it. If he tells you he is gonna do this, he's gonna do it. You know, if a guy tells you he's gonna do something for you, like marry you or something, and doesn't, that should be a clear sign that he has no good intentions for you. You know, if he tells you we're gonna be together, and he doesn't give you that, he has no good intentions for you. So you can definitely always judge a man's intentions if the words align with the actions.
Right, I like that. Go ahead, Mr. Shannon Rawls.
Brothers. His actions will always solidify his intentions. I think he's speaking more so in the dating and mating spaces. Like Hink was saying, when it comes to business and stuff, then, you know, your word is your bond and that whole thing. That's true. But when it comes to dating, does that still apply? Well, it depends. I can tell you this. Based on what he said in that video, that used to be the case. Because we were told that women should be our everything. Every bit of media, every song we listened to, every movie we watched, from Waiting to Exhale to Stella Got a Groove Back to fucking Boomerang, everything told men, especially black men, that women is your everything, all the song, all everything. And so, how we move with her is going to determine how we really want her. And if we don't really give her much time, then we don't really want her. Well, today, that's not necessarily the case. That used to be the case. But today, it's only true for simps, panderers, ugly dudes, and lazy dudes with no options. That's what it is today. Because a guy that has options, a guy that's on his purpose, getting his shit done, he could like you a lot, but he knows, and that's what we're trying to teach. That's one of the reasons we have King Talk, is we're trying to teach men, get your shit together and be laser focused, put blinders on. So you can't see nothing going on over here and get distracted and nothing going on over there. You are focused down the road to your goal. And that includes ignoring these women if necessary. And if you got messages like this, women are saying, oh, he ain't paying it. It's not that he don't like you, sugar. He's just getting his shit together. Whereas 20 years ago, when Shannon was growing up, we were told, get your shit together as long after you make sure that she's fed and make sure you take care of her and all that other stuff. I think Marcus's answer was the most accurate in my opinion. There's stages though. So hear me out, guys. Like Marcus had mentioned, there's stages to this. So I think it's kind of half true. And here's why. Because a man with resources, a man who can afford to have certain things done for him, he can unlock some time for a woman if necessary, even though he may be a high functioning individual. But if he does not utilize any of those resources to unlock time for you, young lady, then he may not be interested. If he doesn't make space in his busy and complicated life to appease you, then he probably don't like you. But if it was another woman that he likes, he could still be really high functioning, still get on his purpose, and she still is on the back burner, but she still gets a little bit of heat. He still utilizes his resources. And one way to do that is, like, you know, quality time is one of the 5 love languages. So if a guy is allowing her into his world, you know, Trev mentioned that he had his wife with him all day today. You know, and I think this is more of a single man's question than a married man's question, but it's a great segue to my last point. If Trev is saying, you know what, I love you, baby, I really do, but you need to see how I roll. So why don't you jump in the passenger seat? You can be co-pilot for today, and you can see where we're going to navigate my day to day. And she's watching him, and then if she can assist, pick up a bag, go get the food, you know, go drop this off real quick so they don't have to park. You don't have to worry about parking. She could just jump out. Those kind of things. She's involving him in his day-to-day action world where she's of value and being used, but she also knows with or without her, he's going to get this shit done. Then that could be an indication that, hey, I am interested in you. Just know that you ain't priority. So that's why I think this is a hybrid situation today, and we're trying to get men to think like Trev, where traditionally they didn't. We want men to think like Trev. Get your shit done. Get things done. It's the GTD method, right? Get things done. Make sure that that's priority, and then everything else comes in, including women. That's the byproduct. Good women is a good byproduct of you making sure you're doing the things that you're supposed to do. And if you're not even involved in, invited to be a co-pilot, where you can be used, ladies, where you can be utilized to help him get his agenda done, yeah, he might not be that into you.